All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, and I've already talked to you a little bit about this in class, so I'm going to go through it again with you if you're watching my video. So we've seen parabolas, standard form. We've seen parabolas, some x squared plus some x plus some number. Well, gosh, as an example, we've seen things like this. We've seen, a y equals, say, a 2x squared plus a 3x minus 5 per se. Okay, that's just an example. And if we were to graph that, what we find is that they're going to have this kind of shape. I'll go ahead and put that down for you. So my parabola is going to have like that kind of shape. If this number is positive, it goes up. If this number is negative, it's a frowny face, right? Now, there's some other features that you want to know. So parabolas are symmetrical. They are symmetrical right down the middle. If I drew this right, I didn't draw it very well, but anyway, think of this as a reflection, nice and symmetrical right down the middle so that it cuts it in half, right? So the line I just drew is called the line of symmetry. This is the line of symmetry, okay? Line of symmetry, okay? That's our line right here because it goes right down the middle. So it's an x equal equation line, okay, because it's just straight up and down on the x-axis somewhere. I just put it right there. So if you want to find the line of symmetry and it's in standard form, you just use this little equation. It's called negative b over 2a. Okay, you just use this little formula, negative b over 2a. Now I'm going to highlight that because that's an important formula. Okay, there it is. So in this example, I would have used a negative 3 over 2 times 2. And we'll do that down here, okay? We'll do an example, okay? So that's the formula for a line of symmetry. Negative b over 2a, okay? Now the vertex of parabola is right there. That's the vertex, okay? And the vertex of the parabola is a point. It's either the lowest point, which is a minimum, or the top point if it's upside down, which makes it a maximum. So the lowest point, or that point right there, is a vertex, or it could be upside down, which makes it the top point, okay? So to get the vertex of the parabola, you're going to use this negative b over 2a because it does go right down the line of symmetry. And then to get the corresponding y value, you're going to plug this answer in. You're going to take this answer and plug it in for x, okay? So you get its corresponding y value. I'm going to show you how this works right now, okay? So example 1. Find the line of symmetry and the vertex of the parabola 2x squared plus 16x minus 5. So we just want the line of symmetry, that's all. So let's start off with our formula. So here's our formula. X equals negative b over 2a. And in this example, a is 2, b is 16, and c is negative 5, okay? A is always with the x squared, b is always with the x, and c is the constant, okay? So let's use a formula. X equals negative b, so that's a negative 16 over 2, because that's part of the formula, 2, times my a, and my a is 2. Okay, so then I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to get a negative 16 over 4, which x equals negative 4. Okay, so that's my line of symmetry. Circle that. Okay, now if I want the vertex is a point. Okay, the vertex is a point. If I want the vertex is a point, it's going to be negative 4 something. Because it's a point, need its y value. So all we do is we take this negative 4 and we plug it in. 4x. Okay, so I'm going to plug it in for x. Probably use my calculator to make it easier for myself, but we're going to go y equals 2, and I'll plug in negative 4 for x, negative 4 squared plus 16 times, plug negative 4 in for x, minus 5. Now, sometimes I'm a little lazy and I let technology do the work for me, but that's okay. Why not, right? Let me darken my screen. Well, I can't. So anyway, I'm going to just plug it in. I'm going to go 2 times a negative 4 squared plus 16 times a negative 2, subtract 5, and I get an answer of negative 5. Okay, so all this y equals negative 5, which is the y value of my vertex. Easy. Negative b over 2a gives you the line of symmetry, which is the x answer of the vertex, take that answer, plug it in to get the y value. Okay. Example 2, same thing, but let's practice it again. Okay. So A is 3, B is -8, and C is a -10. So my little formula is a negative b over 2a. X equals that. Line of symmetry. Remember, we go up here. Psh, there it is. Line of symmetry. There's my little equation. Super easy little formula. So negative b over 2a gives me my line of symmetry. Let's plug that in. Okay. B is a -8, so I'm going to have a negative. Check this out. Don't mess it up, but be careful. -8. I get a double negative because the negative and the -8 and the negative b over 2 times 3, which is my a value. That's 8 over. That's going to be 8 over 6, and 8 over 6 is really 4/3, or 1 1/3, or 1 1/3. So that's my line of symmetry. X equals 1 1/3. Okay, that's my line of symmetry. I know that if I were to graph it, it's got to go through that point. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is find the vertex. So the vertex is going to be 1 1/3 something, because it's a point, something. Well, I'm going to take my 4/3, my 1 1/3. I'm just going to plug it in. I'm going to put it into here for each x value. Okay, I'll probably use my calculator to make it easier for me. So I'm going to go y equals 3 times my 4/3 squared minus my 8 times my 4/3 minus 10, right? Use your calculator. So I'm just going to type this in. Watch me put it in my calculator. You can see it if you want. I'm going to go okay. I'm going to go 3, and I'm going to go 4 divided by 3 squared, right? Minus 8 times 4 divided by 3, right? And then subtract 10. And I get an answer of negative 15.333, which is a negative 15 1/3. I can do the math. Negative 15 1/3, which is my y value of my vertex. So my vertex is my vertex is 1 1/3 and negative 15 1/3. There's my vertex, okay? So if I were to graph it, I'd know where my bottom point is, and I could graph it, and I have my line of symmetry going through the middle of it, okay? Turn the page. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, example 3. Find the vertex. Is this a minimum or a maximum? Well, I already know that it's going to be a maximum. I know by the negative that no matter where it is, it's a frowny face, because that's a negative 2x squared. I already know that. So I already know this is going to be a maximum, okay? If this value are positive, it will be a smiley face, and the point will be a minimum, okay? So let's find it. So again, I'm going to use my formula, x equals negative b over 2a, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead, and I know my a is negative 2, my b is 5, and my c is 7, and let's plug it in. Okay, negative b, so I've got a negative 5 over 2, that's my formula, 2 times a, and a is negative 2, which gives me an x value of 5/4 or 1.25. Okay, so I want a vertex, right? So my vertex is 1.25 something. To get the something, let's plug it in. So I'm going to take my 1.25, plug it in for x there, and x there, okay? So let me do that. I'm going to say, okay, y is equal to negative 2 times my 1.25 squared plus 5 times 1.25 plus 7. So just plug it in for each x value. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to plug it in. Calculator is the only way to go. 1.25 squared plus 5 times 1.25 plus 7, and I get an answer of 10.125. So here's my vertex. It's at a 1.25 comma 10.125, and it has to be a maximum. value because I know if that's negative, it opens down like a frowny face. Okay, last but not least, we're going to graph it. So you could graph it. Sure, you could graph it on your calculator or Desmos, but we're going to be able to do this without Desmos, okay? So let's go back and take a look at what we need. So first of all, let's find the line of symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. And I know that a is 2, b is negative 8, and c is negative 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my negative 8, because it's a negative 8, double negative, over 2 times b, or 2 times a, which is 2. That's going to give me an 8 over 4, which is 2. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this. Hold on, let's do some Let's do some graphing while we're going along here. Let's do some graphing right off the bat. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and let's see what I got. So I've got a line of symmetry. Well, line of symmetry is really an invisible line. We don't really see it, so I'm going to make it in yellow. So this is my invisible line. It's not part of the graph, but it's the middle of the graph. It goes right through the middle, okay? So there's my line of symmetry at x equals 2. So that's the middle of the graph right there. Now where's the vertex? Well, let's plug in the 2. Let's plug it in. So we're going to go a y equals a 2. Plug in 2 for x, minus 8. Plug 2 in for x, minus 5. Okay, so I'm plugging in just 2 for both that x and that x. Let's see what I get. My calculator, I'm just going to do my calculator real quick. 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2, subtract 5. Okay, there it is. I plugged it into my calculator. I hit enter and I get an answer of negative 13. Okay, so y equals negative 13. So my vertex then is at 2, negative 13. Okay, let's see. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I had to add some. So it's right there, okay? I had to make my graph along. I should have graphed up here. Oh well, it's okay, it'll work. Now, y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept was kind of key because the y-intercept, write this down, just like graphing, it's got to be negative 5. So let x equal 0. So if x are 0, we get negative 5. So I'm going to have a point at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now you need 3 points. Okay, you with me, right? So far I got my vertex 2, negative 13. I got that from the math up here. The y-intercept is easy. That's just the negative 5. That's easy. That's right there. Now the second thing, because we have a line of symmetry. Watch. Everybody watching? Everybody watching? I have a second point right there. I'll show it again. I have a third point. I'm sorry. I have a third point right there. And I need 3 points. So let me put that third point in because it's a reflection over my line of symmetry. And then I can just sketch in my graph. Kind of like that. Not a very good graph. It's supposed to be curvy. And there you have it. Okay. So that's all I have. We're going to do a Zoom meeting as well so we can talk about this and hopefully you guys will get it.